Well, coming aboard the Beyond the Flags podcast, he drives the Friesen Performance IMCA Modified number V13 from Stayton, Oregon, Grey Ferrando. Ferrando hot off of the victory at Sunset Speedway Park, $3,000 richer with the Whisler Construction Mod Frenzy last Saturday night. Also picked up the $5,000 to win Rich and Nicky Biehn Memorial at Yreka Speedway in California in June. And the defending race winner of the $10,000 to win survived the 55 at Skagit Speedway in Alger, Washington. We're going to talk to him about his racing career, how it started, the success that he has had over the last few seasons, as well as several trips to the Midwest. That's coming up next. But before we get to the interview, make sure wherever you're listening or watching from, you hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Well, he's hot off a big payday at Sunset Speedway Park, winning the Whisler Construction Mod Frenzy on Saturday night. Grey Ferrando, first of all, congratulations. That was an exciting main event to watch on IMCA through Dirt Oval TV, a non-stop 40-lap feature. And it was just incredible to see the amount of racing that was all over the racetrack for that final feature.
Yeah, track was really good, really racy, and kind of crazy to go a full 40 laps without a caution on that small track, but we managed.
Well, I mean, you guys went pretty much 3 wide off of the start, and then you were able to get second place secured, and then you ran down Craig Castle, and then you guys battled for a while. Then it got really dicey in traffic where you guys really went after it with each other and just did a masterclass move in traffic to use a lap car kind of as a pick and just swept right by him.
Yeah, I was running hard with him, trying to take control of the race, and just couldn't quite clear him, so I fell back in line. That middle higher groove was a little quicker, and as we were battling, I saw lap traffic coming, so I just kind of fell in behind him and waited for lap traffic and still searched around a little bit just to see what I had in different lines. So when I knew what I had when we caught lap traffic, and when we caught lap traffic, he went straight to the bottom, and I knew all the lap cars were going to be fighting for the bottom, so I sailed in on the outside, and off we went.
Then the last dozen or so laps, things got interesting. Bryson James was able to move into second and made it a contest with you. He was trying to rip the top where you seemed to be pretty comfortable on the lower part of the racetrack.
Yeah, I got a glimpse of him a couple times, and I thought there was one lap there where he was on the bottom, and so I thought maybe he was rolling the bottom, so I actually moved down and started rolling the bottom and catching the traction that came in off the bottom before they prepped the track. When they prepped the track before our main event, they made it a little heavy on the exit right on the very bottom, and I knew that would come in at some point, and I seen him down there, so I expected that that's where he was at. So I moved down there. I didn't actually realize he was all the way on the fence until the last 2 or 3 laps to go, and then I realized he was out on the top, and I just stuck to the bottom and held him off.
Well, $3,000 payday, and to back up with a $5,000 payday that you earned at Yreka Speedway on June 14th for the Rich and Nicky Biehn Memorial. I mean, you've been racking in some pretty big races in 2024.
Yeah, we got those 2, and then the end of last year we got the 55 up at Skagit, and and Grace Harbor for the Shipwreck Beads race. We ran second, had some overheating issues, otherwise we might have ran a little better, but fought overheating issues for half the race and just kind of managed the motor to make sure we didn't lose the motor.
Well, and something really cool about you that folks may not know is spending a lot of time in the Southwest when we're not racing up here, and going for a championship at Skagit Speedway in Summerton, Arizona. You're running well down there. You won the Mike Corning Memorial back in May, right before they went for their summer break. I mean, that's a pretty sensational goal to achieve, to win 2 championships in 2 different to go for a championship in a completely different state.
Yeah, I wanted to try for 2 track championships, and as you know, with the way scheduling works in the Northwest, we never really have any tracks that work together and don't schedule over the top of each other, so there's not really any tracks here that you can race to get 2 track championships. And if you want to try and run well in regional or national points, you pretty much have to have 2 track championships. So I looked at the schedules, and Kokopah worked out to where it was 5 weekends of racing down there to get their races in. They ended up canceling one weekend. So it actually ends up being 4 weekends of racing down there. And I was able to leave my equipment down there and get the first 2 weekends in without having to drive down a separate time. And so I'll only have to drive down there twice to make it all happen. We got one more weekend in September, and that's it.
Well, what's been really awesome to see is just how well you've done. You're talking about running for a national championship, 8th in national points going into last weekend, and then 3rd in the Shaw Race Cars Western Region points. I mean, you've ran a lot and you've ran well a lot, and that just a compliment to all the hard work of your race team and just your dedication.
Yeah, I haven't really put the time into my program that I've wanted to. We've been so busy working. Our plumbing business has just been slammed. So I really actually haven't spent as much time as I'd like to on my race program. And I've missed a few weekends here and there lately just because I've been exhausted and just taking time off to do family stuff. But yeah, we've done pretty well. We struggled speed week and that's pretty much the biggest struggle we've had was pretty much just during speed week, just some bad luck and just putting ourselves in the wrong places and stuff. And other than that, we've had a pretty good year.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and Bryson James have been putting on some incredible shows, down in Roseburg at Douglas County Dirt Track. That's been a fun Friday place to go to see some great racing to kind of kick the weekend off. And, of course, you and him going at it equally as hard at Willamette Speedway in Lebanon.
Yeah, I don't know how many times it's been this year. I haven't counted it up, but me and him have ran 1-2 a lot this year. It's either been him or me, and a lot of the time it's whoever gets out front first is going to win. And that's just kind of the way it's gone, seems like, a lot of the year.
Well, I know you said business is busy, you've been slammed, but we're still going to see at the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's here in a couple weeks in Biehn.
Yes, sir. I'll have a new car I'm picking up back there that week, and I'll take that to Super Nationals, and the wife will be running the modified in the stock car, and should be a good time.
Nice. Well, it was last year and 2022, right? When you won some qualifiers back-to-back years?
I've only won one qualifier, and that was last year.
Okay, last year. That's right. I was thinking you rolled from the pole on one night. But nonetheless, to make the show is a big feat in itself. But to win a qualifier is an ultra big deal. Yeah.
I mean, it's you got really good competition back there, and winning a qualifier and then running 3rd in the big show, that's not too bad. We'll try and do better this year and, see how it all shakes out.
So for people that don't know your race story, I remember you about, 2015-ish, somewhere around there, starting racing, and it's always been modifieds. Just how you got exposed to racing. I know the Ferrando racing family, there's a lot of you guys, and there's a big family tree. Of course, Tom was big with the Pro 4 series, and I think demo derby cars and stuff. For you, what was your first exposure to racing?
It was racing with my grandpa Tom and the rest of my family. We all raced Pro 4 cars. When I turned 16, I raced Pro 4 for, 2 to 4 years, somewhere in there. I don't remember exact. Probably 3 or 4 years. And then I kind of stopped doing that and went and did some motocross stuff, and then got tired of getting hurt racing motocross. So I decided it was time for something else, and I just did some research and liked that modifieds, you could travel anywhere and compete, and so I jumped into modifieds. Yeah.
Well, I did mistakenly say that you've only been in modifieds because I have seen your wheel a cage kart every now and then too. So I gotta put that fine detail in there.
Yeah, and I ran the stock car a few times, ran a couple late model races, but that's about it.
I mean, modifieds seem to be your bread and butter, though, and you seem to do well at it, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about doing more late model stuff. I just don't really want to spend the money, because if I jumped into that, I'd spend a lot of money.
Yeah. And what was really cool for you there for a couple of years is you kind of ran an outlaw schedule of, like, there'd be it seemed like you'd be out in the Midwest a couple times. I know 2020 you guys traveled a lot, and seeing a lot of those new racetracks and different competition, no doubt, helped your racing program and helped you as a race car driver.
Yeah, around that time we also linked up with Precision Performance, and that really helped elevate our program, and working with the Eckerches and Andy. And yeah, traveling always makes you better.
Yeah, and if I remember right, you guys went all the way. Did you go to you went to South Dakota at Park Jeff for the first race ever for dirt track racing post the shutdown for COVID?
Yep, we ran that, and then we ran the next day over at New Raceway Park.
Nice. Yeah. And I was going through, like, you guys went to like Williston and a lot of places in Iowa. Just super cool to see somebody that lives so close to me to be able to go out and do that.
Yeah, I'd like to do more of it, just with family, the 6-year-old and 13-year-old, she's doing tournament softball, so she has that almost every weekend, and having the 6-year-old and then running the business and stuff, it's just hard to get away as much as I'd like to, but at some point we'll go travel some more again, but right now it's just, hard with family and stuff.
No doubt. Yeah, I understand that. Harris Clash, though, did you go there when you were back in the Midwest?
I have not been to that one. That's one that I need to go to one of these days. I did the Dakota Tour and the Midwest Madness Tour, but I have not done the Harris Clash.
Okay. And when you did Dakota Tour, you didn't go to Estevan. You went to Red River Valley Speedway instead in Fargo? Was that
I believe so.
There? Yeah. I mean, I went for the first time this last July, and I was just blown away with how big. I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't completely comprehend, like, this is a huge deal, not just for North Dakota, but for like the country. And it seems like, I mean, obviously I love the Speed Week we have here, but this deal is, I'm not saying that the Speed Week out here is like at a lower level or anything, but this is kind of like the original Speed Week, so to speak, for modifieds.
Yeah, they attract pretty much the best of the best in the IMCA stuff, I would say. I mean, and anyone that they don't attract, it's not because people don't want to go, it's just because of logistics, I'm sure, because anyone that's ran it, including myself, would love to go back. It's a grind. Every track there is 3 to 4 hours apart, and often, as you know, I do a lot of this all by myself, and it's just a long grind doing that, and it's a long ways for us to even get there.
What threw me off the most was being in a different time zone every other day. That threw me off. So by the time my fiance or my mom called me and, well, what time is it there? It's I started losing track. So whatever time they tell me I need to go into the announcing tower or to the production meeting, that's what time it is. So
right.
What was your favorite track, either in the Midwest or even running the Dakota Tour?
I really enjoyed pretty much all of them on the Dakota Tour. They were all, I don't know, I just ran pretty well at all of them, I felt like. I don't know, I enjoy going to Marshalltown. I didn't in the past, but the last few times I've gone there, I've kind of figured it out, and I enjoy it a lot more. I enjoy going to Biehn for Super Nationals. I enjoy Stewart a lot. Stewart's a fun place to get around. I can't really think of too many others back there. I did enjoy, I guess, Interstate Speedway now that Alves has it. That place is a fun place to get around too. Yeah. There's just quite a few good places back there to get around.
Well, and it's really cool. Not only Jefferson, South Dakota, blessed with 2 racetracks, and they don't race on the same day. Thank goodness for that. Park Jeff is, like a big 3/8. It almost looks like a half mile. And then you've got this bull ring across the street with Interstate Speedway. And both of them are capable of putting on some really good racing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they both are. Park Jeff, when I ran there, it was all right. I think we had some rain we were battling and stuff, so the track conditions weren't great. But yeah, it could be a fun place to race too. So yeah, there's a lot of good places back there to run.
And throwing back to that being the first race ever since the lockdown of, what would that have been, like March 13th, 2020, that to be a part of that race, they had a cap of entries. And I mean, it seemed like that process just to be on the entry list was wild and crazy.
Yeah, it was cool. I was happy that they let me, get in on it, and we had a little tough luck there at Park Jeff, but at Interstate, or or New Raceway Park, they called it back then.
Mm-hmm.
At that, the next day we ran third there to Ricky and Jeff Taylor. So that wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, that's a good group to podium with. And that deal, that there was no cap for that one, right?
They capped it. They capped it at because they weren't going to run a B main and stuff, and they only had limited pit area with all the social distancing and stuff.
Yeah.
But their selection process was a little bit different.
Okay.
I'm not sure I don't remember exactly how they did their selection process, but it wasn't the same guys at both tracks.
Sure. Yeah. All in the past, and hopefully going to stay in the past. We don't have to deal with anything even remotely close to that. That's crazy. I mean, I remember Superstition Showdown at Arizona Speedway. We had to wear face coverings in, the desert heat, and it was just so. I remember you had like a little interesting face covering. It was a face covering, it somewhat full face covering, but it didn't say how big it needed to cover your face.
Yep, we did the minimum we could get away with.
Yeah, exactly. Barely legal. Are you looking to find that adrenaline rush, but you can't because you're not at the racetrack? Well, check out the IMCA TV Replay subscription library to have access to thousands of hours of racing for just $24.99 a month. Relive all the moments of the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's at Biehn Speedway, the Harris Clash at Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota, the IMCA TV Winter Nationals at Cocopah Speedway in Somerton, Arizona, Florida's Clash on the Coast, and dozens of Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program racetracks from across the nation, as well as the IMCA TV Dirtcast podcast. Plus, 25% of that $24.99 monthly fee goes towards the Drivers Point Fund and is a great way to help out your local racers. In 2023, over $97,000 was paid out to IMCA drivers directly at over 50 racetracks across the country. Please note that live broadcasts are not part of the replay subscription. That's IMCA TV. IMCA TV, where America comes to watch racing. V13. The V, I know like the Ferrando cars ran the letter V in front of their numbers. I assume where that comes from. But I'll let you tell the story why you selected V13 for a number.
Well, the V, like you said, was just from the family. But the 13 was just, as a kid, I just have always been one of those that, you say this number's bad? Well, I'll just pick that number then. So everyone says it's unlucky, so I just said, I'll take it then.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Well, and what's the story with the V? Did that stand for anything? Was that for like Valley or do you know?
No, honestly, what I was told was back in the day, my grandpa went to a race. I don't remember what track it was in California, and he was number 7, and there was another 7, and they said he had to change his number. The easiest thing he could do was put a V in front of it with 2 pieces of duct tape, and then he just always stuck to it.
Nice. Yeah, because you couldn't change it to 17 with 1 piece, because I'm sure there was already a 17. Right? So, yeah. And that wasn't back in the day where, having triple digits was cool. So,
right.
Well, obviously, you're a busy man with the family, with a very incredibly successful business, and obviously incredible successful racing career. But outside of that, what do you guys like to do to try and do stuff away from racing? What kind of activities does that look like?
Well, we actually recently, about a month ago, bought a Razor side-by-side. So last weekend, I think it was, we went down to Dune Fest and spent the week, 4 days or whatever down at the dunes, riding in the dunes. And my son has a Razor 200 that he drives. And so we started doing that. And we got a boat. The lake's only 35 minutes away. Sometimes we go up there. We're not as much as we should, but, that's a busy life.
Yeah. Well, is Dune Fest just as crazy it was when I was growing up back in the mid-2000s, or is it tamed down a bit?
Oh, it's definitely tamed down from that. I remember those days.
Yeah, I mean, no joke, not to laugh about, but, like, there'd be some people get seriously hurt. Like, some guys would jump over, like, a dune, and there'd be some people, like, camping there or something. Like, just wild and crazy stuff. Wild, Wild West.
Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff can still happen, but not as much. and because there's way less partying now out there than there was.
Yeah. Well, Stayton, it's a beautiful area. It's on what is that, Highway 22, right, east of Salem.
What's that? Where I live?
Yes.
Yep.
And some points of interest for people that have never been in the Stayton area for you to look and see and visit if you're going through. Obviously, going that direction east, that can take you to the mountains, and if you're going west, that takes you to the capital city of Salem.
Yep. I say where we're at here, we're like 35 minutes to the lake. We're about an hour to the ocean, and about an hour up in the mountain to the snow, and a half over to the desert.
And during Christmas time, you guys have sort of a citywide Christmas light celebration, right? Where you've got all sorts of neighborhoods displayed, and pretty much the whole town's lit up, if I understand right. Is that correct?
We don't have too much here. There's a little bit, but there's not as much as it used to be, I think. Okay. But there's some.
I remember I went one time. This would have been 21. And then I kind of got lost, and then I went in to turn around in this municipal park, and it had to have been like the tiniest parking lot ever. Fortunately, it was like at night, late at night, so there wasn't people parked there. But holy smokes, if I had to do like a 20-point turn to get out of it.
Yeah, I know what little park you're talking about. It's pretty small.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Super Nationals on the docket. What else for you as far as, and obviously going down for Kokopah, I assume survive the 55 to try and defend your championship with that event?
Yeah, probably need to go back to that. And beyond that, I think that's about all we really have on the schedule this year. I don't think there's anything else really worth going to after that until January. Maybe in November go down to Arizona and run, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sure. Well, and for people that want to support your race program, is there any sort of current apparel run that's going on of T-shirts or sweatshirts that people can purchase?
Yeah, we have T-shirts and sweatshirts that have my mod and the wife's stock car on it. We have a bunch of those in right now, and yeah.
Okay. And then for people that get them, do you do online sales, or is it pretty much got to be at the track kind of thing?
We can do it. We can ship them. We aren't very speedy about it, but we can. Otherwise, we try to keep them in the trailer so we have them at the track. We got to get that restocked. I just ordered a new cabinet so I can keep it fully stocked all the time. I'm just waiting on that to come in.
There you go. I mean, you're winning these big figure races. You're going to be slinging shirts before no time.
Yeah, we sell a few here and there, and we don't really push it. We don't really stick them out or anything, but when people come ask, then we have them. But we should probably do a better job of putting them out so people know we have them, but we don't.
There you go. Hey, maybe
we don't try too hard.
Maybe with this, your DMs are going to blow up with a bunch of online orders now.
There you go. Keep the wife busy getting them shipped out.
There you go. Well, I know that you said it's pretty much a one-man gang, between yourself and your wife operating the team, but I do know that you've got some pretty cool sponsors and marketing partners that help you out to make this a possibility for you to race as much as you do and to compete towards the front as much as you do.
Yeah, I think my wife and kids for letting me do as much as I do, and Hop is Motorsports, Skyline Full, Friesen Performance chassis, builds great cars and keeps up to date. And I got Matt Freeman and his son Paxton and Dominic that come out and help us at the track pretty often, and a few other people here and there that come and help as well. Makes it nice when they do come and help out. And yeah. Well,
awesome. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Gray, and look forward to seeing you in Biehn here in a couple of weeks. Well, we're almost to single digits before too long, but really looking forward to any time I get to run into you and chat about racing.
Yeah, likewise.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like, and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions.